This is Your Favorite Character Sucks with Jon.
Oh, we're rolling. Matt.
And Brandon.
A podcast where we look at characters in our favorite books and decide which is the best. Well, not just books, right? Movies, TV shows.
Any form of media, really, yeah.
Right. How does one determine media? How does one determine what the best character is? Well, with our extensive literary knowledge and a level of confidence possessed only by an American man, we can discover the answer to any question. Before we begin, my conscience would not let me go on without first saying that this podcast has assumed you are familiar with the series being discussed. If you haven't read, listened to, watched, or gone on an acid trip that has revealed to you the plot of the series under discussion, then you should stop listening now until you've read or watched whatever we're talking about. You have been warned. On today's episode, a song of ice and fire and way too many characters. Well, we're Sans Matt.
Sansa.
Sansa Matt, yeah. We're Sans Matt.
That was Matt's character, Sansa?
No, that's actually
That's my character.
our guest, Erica.
I thought everyone's character was Arya.
Everyone's favorite, or not favorite, the best character.
No, we'll get into it. It's not Arya.
So we were missing Matt today because of many reasons. One, he's a douche. Two, he's sick.
He might be in the process of dying. We don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. But anyway, Bran's gonna be Matt today, so what's your opening statement?
Yeah, I didn't really choose a character, but, I'll think about it as we go on and come up with something.
We don't even need Matt. Like, we have an easy replacement.
Same thing.
But okay, no, we're talking about the best characters in Game of Thrones. Opening statements. Who wants to start?
For clarity, we're considering both book and show, correct?
Only the books. No, yeah, we have to do book and show because Erica has
only the books. What?
No,
Both.
Erica has only seen the show and read one book.
And I refuse to read
And
the books.
the books aren't over, so...
The books aren't over, so that also can make things difficult too. Yeah, we have to consider the show a little bit,
We need to do a poll.
We can also talk about where do we think George R. R. Martin is going with the story
We could, but that wouldn't have anything to do with best characters.
That's true.
All right. Who feels strongly enough to start their opening statement?
I'll go for it.
All right, she's ready.
Hey, I'm Erica. Okay?
Hey, girl.
Okay. I chose Sansa last minute because...
It's always the mark of the best character when you have to decide last minute.
Well,
anyway.
at first I thought Cersei, and then I realized that Sansa is the baddest bitch in the entire show because she started
didn't
off...
blow up any fucking...
No, listen. She started off really meek and mild, had no desire to be a leader. She got basically pushed into so many things. She was with Joffrey by force, Ramsay. She went through all these men who broke her, and she could have been broken, only to end up being the ruler of her own place in the end.
That's true.
Khaleesi didn't do that. Cersei didn't do that. Sansa was by herself. Sansa also doesn't have any powers, and she's not really that smart. She's not a good fighter. She doesn't have dragons. She doesn't have anyone else to rule the land, but she ended up persevering at the end. I mean, I know it was plot armor a little bit.
Wait, what is it called?
Nevertheless, she persevered.
It's the book. What's that book called? You know what I'm talking about? It's a feminist book about...
Yes, it's literally...
She persevered?
Persisted. Nevertheless, she persisted.
Okay, so Sansa, she persisted.
She really did, and no one was probably expecting it.
Persisted and persevere, I feel have very different connotations. Persistence, you just kind of were there. You persist. Yeah. Persevere is
I mean, at first, that's she was just there and just surviving because she was there. But then towards the end, she was smart and had strategy. She was playing the game. Yeah. She sort of, and her goal was never to be what's it called? The person who sits on the thorny chair?
The king and or queen of the Seven Kingdoms.
That was never her goal. Her goal was to always take care of her people. And that's she wasn't this greedy, I have to have everything. It was no, I want to be taken care of. And she ended up becoming the queen of Winterfell.
And she definitely had more character growth than Cersei.
She had the most character growth.
Cersei
is pretty stagnant, isn't it?
Cersei is a pretty consistent character throughout.
Yeah, and I love Cersei.
Yeah. And it's a shame you haven't read the books because Sansa is way cooler in the books.
But listen, Listen, he's trying to give you points though.
Well, here's the thing.
Sansa's badass in books.
Oh, I thought he said weak.
No,
he's way cooler in the books. Like, she has way more character development.
See, then look at that.
Yeah, well, we'll talk more about that. But yeah.
But even with the books, still not the best character.
Who's the best, Curry?
False.
Yeah, Melisandre is the best.
Melisandre, little bitch.
The red priestess.
Yes, the red lady.
Yeah.
The reason I think she's the best, from a narrative point of view, is that she is like the blending of science in the form of alchemy, magic, religion, and also like the nobility that you see. So she gives views of every single like aspect of the realm and world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's also, I think, central to the like larger, bigger plot.
Yeah, she's honestly kind of like the driving force of the resistance to the Night King / the Great Hunter.
She's a through line from the Game of Thrones to the like bigger threat because she's like there at the beginning to help.
She's forgettable.
She's got her eye on the prize.
She's trying to figure out who is going to be the guy to stop the White King. Like she's ready for that.
See, I've only seen the shows, and on the shows, I'm just like...
But I think she's cool on the shows, too.
She's cool, but she's not the best character. If anything, she's like top 15.
She's one of the few that has the more...
She convinced Stannis to burn his daughter alive to defeat the White King.
Yes.
Eventually.
God dang it. Yeah, that's horrible. All right, well...
I liked it when she just... like turned into dust. That was
oh god,
that was pretty sick.
Last moment. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, no. That's how I want to go out. Take my necklace off, rip my clothes off, walk into nowhere, and just dust.
Okay.
That's how I want to.
We can arrange that, I guess.
What if she was like part of the Thanos like snap or something?
Yeah,
that's what that was.
Yeah, she was tying him into the Marvel.
She was just going for a walk.
Yeah.
No. And then just happened to
because Westeros it's on a planet somewhere in the universe. Yeah, and when Thanos would snap,
she's the only one in Westeros to get snapped though somehow.
He's my favorite.
Oh, wait, we're not talking about the MCU, but
that's next. That's our next episode.
If Thanos was in the Game of Thrones universe, it would be Eric.
He would be my favorite character easily.
I think Thanos is stupid, but anyways.
So sexy,
but yeah, Melisandre she like drives the entire story of the North.
I think so.
But from when? Because is she in the first season? Is she in the second?
Well, we'll talk more about it. Let's finish.
She's in the second season, but
she's
she's basically with Stannis from the beginning of Stannis' story.
She starts with Stannis, and the first thing we see her really do that's like, what the fuck is she like births that black demon thing that goes and assassinates.
Well, now we're getting into my character stuff, so I'm just gonna introduce my character, very closely related to Curry's. Stannis Baratheon.
Boy, bye. No. I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and say no.
Here's why.
Because he burned his daughter at the alive.
The reason I'm saying he's the best character for this series, what that means to me is the best person to be on the throne. Mm-hmm. And because
it's a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's the whole conflict the whole time. And legally, he was King Robert's heir. Yeah. He should have been, because...
only blood relative.
Yeah. It was his next brother. Robert's kids weren't actually his.
We all know. We know royalty's corrupt, though.
Maybe. But legally, he should have been king. And his claim was supported by Ned Stark, the most honorable man in Westeros.
Oh, shit.
Acting hand of the king at the time.
Stark.
If you're endorsed by Ned Stark
endorsement.
Yeah, that's the best endorsement you can possibly get. Yeah. So...
I'm sorry, I just want to say when I said royalty was corrupt, I didn't mean Meghan Markle and Harry. Okay. I just want to throw that out there because I really like them.
Okay.
I mean, they probably are too, but...
yeah, any more about Stannis?
Yeah, so just the one that should have been king and ended this conflict. But also, it's hard for me to argue between mine and Curry's characters because I think
they go hand in hand.
Yeah, his willingness to work with Melisandre, I think, is also a strong point because I think many other people in Westeros would like scoff at the using of magic.
Yeah,
but he embraced it, which you can say it's a bad thing because it's the shadow magic that requires sacrifice. But
her magic seems to come from across the sea.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
From Ashai by the shadows. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say it's also one of his strengths, his willingness to utilize that. And I actually think the shadow demon thing was pretty like utilitarian. He was willing to kill his own brother
God damn.
in order to avoid an entire war between him and his brother's armies.
Okay.
So I would argue he killed one guy, but to save thousands of soldiers. So
God dang it, dude.
I also think
That's hardcore.
I think he's a smart tactician, even if his choices are morally questionable.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Especially like killing his daughter later on, like what we were talking.
Okay, that's show.
But also,
that's
is
not
that in the
book.
show, right? That's not in the book. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good
that
point.
hasn't
We can't.
occurred in the book.
Yeah.
If it will,
We can
occur,
say
don't
that
know.
we don't know if Stannis is going to make that decision.
Yeah.
So
And he's
Those
like
books aren't getting finished, so they literally don't matter.
he's like the only leader who responds to Jon Snow's call for aid in the North.
Yeah.
Everyone else also they're like, oh, that conflict is not real, or we can't bother getting
it's not
involved
worth
with
it
that
because we want to be on the winning side too.
Yeah,
Because
but
of that.
he actually, and I think it's partially because of the influence of Melisandre.
I'd like to point out
goes-
that actually the only thing that stopped him from becoming king is that he left the best character in the series behind in his attack on King's Landing.
Maybe.
Could be, yeah. So, man, there's a lot of honorable mentions I have to make.
Oh,
Because
also, yeah, Sir Davos. Huge honorable mention
Yeah,
for me.
so Davos was my number 2, and Stannis was
Yeah,
my
and
number
that's
3.
Stannis' right hand man.
Sir
so.
Davos, that's the one who was like, who learned how to read?
Yeah, the Onion
I
Knight.
cannot stand him. Oh my gosh.
Why can't
Wait,
you
you
stand
hate
him?
him because he's illiterate?
No.
That's fucked up.
No, he just is like one of the most obnoxious characters. Like, I could have done without
I feel
any
the
of his
opposite.
stories.
Jon Snow.
I feel like he's one of the few.
I didn't like Jon Snow
He's
either.
one of the few good people in all of
That's
Westeros.
true. He
That's why I
was
support Sir
good.
Davos.
See,
Good guy.
but I'm like more
Him and Ned are basically
Cersei
the only
guys,
lawful good
so.
people in this
That's
show.
Yeah,
He's
everyone
good.
else is like shady as shit or stupid.
That's
Yeah.
true.
He saves what's his name?
Arya?
Gendry.
Gendry. He saves Gendry. He like the red woman is gonna like do all these things to
Sacrifice him.
and sacrifice him, and he lets him go.
Yeah, and in the book he saves Edric Storm from Storm's Inn.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a good guy.
Curry, did you read all the books?
Yes,
Audiobook or really?
audiobook. I'm not gonna read that many.
Doesn't count unless you
Yeah, me moving-
I read
That's a
them.
real.
moving to where I live now, which was a
Yeah, you
5-hour
use way better than
drive,
audiobooks.
basically.
Yeah, that's true. It's a
Got a
drive.
lot of
You guys
audiobooks
are
in there.
still on the drive. Nuts.
So honorable mention Varys and Littlefinger because I love that dynamic and I love
Yep.
It's a Game of Thrones and I think that they're really good at playing the game. They feel like to me like everyone else feels
But
like
are
pieces
they
on the board.
leadership material?
Oh no, I
They're
don't.
weasels. Oh, that's why you gave me
No, I don't
honorable
think that they
mention.
should be
Varys
on the
is
throne.
one of my favorites. Though.
I think they are really great characters. I think they could be one of the best characters, but they are like not pieces on the board. Like they're playing the Game of Thrones. They literally
Y'all
feel like
watched
the
show
players.
a lot differently than I did because when I watched the show, I was not thinking. But I also didn't even know
Yeah.
that they were fighting for the throne until the last season. So
Yeah, she was like, oh, everyone's fighting. It's crazy. There's a lot of drama, but she didn't know that like the throne was the goal.
yeah, I didn't realize that was
Until the very
I mean, it's
end.
basically a giant
Game
civil
of-
war. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird because
Yeah.
they named the show that.
Yeah, but it just didn't even seem significant after like the second season because you never really saw people sitting in the chair anymore.
Also, we were at the Natural Museum of Science, and Erica goes, "Dragons aren't real."
It hit me.
She was
It
like,
really
she's
hit
like,
me.
Game of Thrones has convinced me that dragons are real. I forgot that they aren't
Okay,
real.
but for real, like looking at the dragon on your shirt this whole time, I've been like, dang, dragons are so tight. Like I
Yeah.
love dragons.
She's very convinced
I'm
by the shows.
very passionate about dragons. Oh, if they could get the first place, they would, but they were just babies, so they don't count in
Yeah.
the running.
She loves the dragons. When a dragon would die, she would say, "I'm not watching the show anymore," and then would continue watching it.
But when that ice dragon came, oh, that was so cool.
When he came,
Yeah.
Jonathan Campbell.
when he ice blasted the.
But what about when the
wall?
Night King
Yeah, when he
like,
blasted all
killed
of
one of
his
them so
spray.
easily? He just like
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
That was,
he didn't even
that
have an
was-
atlatl.
I seriously,
Oh,
I was,
yeah, it was just one Olympic spear
I was
throw,
gutted.
instant
No,
kill.
no, no,
I was
not-
like
let's not even talk about that.
shaking.
Let's talk about how a fucking loser ass Greyjoy character, from the show.
Oh, no. We can't talk about the last season because it's just like, like the only part
The
of
last
the last
season is whack
season
as
that we
fuck.
should ever talk about is the cinematography. And that's
Yeah,
it.
sure.
It was
There was some
so
dope
beautiful.
scenes,
You
for
remember when those dragon arms popped up and she was walking?
No, that shit was dope.
Yeah, that was the last episode.
Oh my gosh, and Sansa's hair and her wardrobe. So that's another huge piece of Sansa. You
Oh no,
guys.
the costuming.
Every person, their outfits went from like meek, like I'm a little prairie girl to like, no, I'm the boss bitch. Look at my fur. Look at me. I'm a strut. My hair's braided. My hair's straight. Do not mess with me.
Honestly, did not like
So
her dress.
good. Okay, but you have to think about what it meant in the scheme.
I mean, I'm not saying it was that bad. It's just like, I
think.
think they could have done better.
Yeah. It was
Honestly,
like,
actually, the only person who's like clothing of all the female characters that were dressed in feminine manner, I think Daenerys was the only one that had like really good costume design to me.
Oh yeah, she had amazing outfits too.
Yeah.
She had amazing outfits, but she went from basically just wearing a bra to like wearing real clothes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
have
yeah,
to
no, hers. Oh my gosh, she went from like she was like all white one season and like warrior princess last season. Oh, the outfits were so good.
So I gotta finish the opening statements,
Best
and then we can keep
characters.
doing this.
Okay.
But Jaime Lannister is the character that I went with in the end, and here's why. He is the character that, for me, watching Game of Thrones, because that's the first way I consumed it was watching it. The very first thing that was like, oh fuck, this show is good.
The end of the first episode.
Is the end of the first episode when he shoves Bran out the
The
window.
things we do for love.
And the things we do for love, yes. And when that happens, I'm not joking.
You're hooked
quotable,
immediately.
Dude, you saying the things we do for love just gave me chills. Like that, for real.
Yeah.
Jaime Lannister pushing Bran out the window, you're fucking hooked for life.
Yes.
You're hooked for life. And so, and that puts so much into motion.
Cersei's so good.
Because what if he hadn't done that? What if he hadn't done that? I mean, Bran getting injured is what leads Catelyn Stark on her little investigation and stuff like that. And that's what gets a lot of things going. If Bran had never got pushed out of the window, if that had never happened, it might have been a very different series.
Yeah.
But then also,
Yeah, very
Jaime
boring
and
one,
Cersei's- Yeah, I mean, Jaime and Cersei having Joffrey is what got Ned Stark killed because Ned Stark discovers that, and he got killed. So again, like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that Jaime does before the story. Let's talk about him assassinating the Mad King, making a choice between do I let a whole city die or do I let the king die or do I kill the king and then I'm not honorable anymore.
Oh, that's easy.
I also think he's great because of his arc, because you start off hating him because he fucking tries to kill a child, which is messed up, and he's fucking his sister, which is messed up. So obviously he's like the very obvious villain. But then you discover, in that scene with Brienne, he tries very hard to fit into that villain role. And I see it all the time, like with kids growing up, like what you say they are, people start to become. Like you get put into a box and then you want to start fulfilling that. And I see the same things. Like I remember I saw an interview with LeBron James, how he talked about when he went to the Miami Heat, everyone hated him, and he started to like feel like the villain and started to play that character. Like he started to be like, yeah, I don't get, fuck your team, like that kind of thing. Like he started acting that way, and he said it was bad for him. So people, a lot of times, they act the way that people put that on them, and they act that way. So Jaime was like an evil character that wasn't really evil. He made some bad decisions, obviously. He's got a very terrible family. Tywin is his father, who's a piece of shit father. And then the coolest thing ever is the arc that he has, which is he is like, the whole hero's journey of like dying and being reborn. He gets his hand cut off and everything that he is
Is he
killed.
cooler in the book than he is in the show?
Yes.
He is the most compelling redemption arc, I think.
But if
so he
you
gets
start
his hand
thinking
cut
about
off,
the
everything
last
he is
season, because I didn't read the books.
Oh,
though,
fuck the last
That's
season.
what I mean,
Oh my
because
God.
he loses it all in the last
Okay,
Yeah, no,
season.
they ruined
So
it
that's
in
why
the
I'm
last
like,
season.
I don't
Book
know if
Jamie
you
is
can-
sick. First
Okay,
two
okay,
seasons
so-
of Jamie, are pretty good.
So yeah.
And I love his relationship with Brienne.
Yes,
Yeah.
his relationship with Bran. So on the show, everything until he gets back and is in the book, he does not get back for Joffrey to be killed. He's not there before Joffrey gets killed. He hears about it in a bar, and he doesn't even care.
Isn't it so crazy how like the communication happens in these worlds? Like,
Yeah, there's no cell phones.
cell phone.
Yeah, it's
How do they
Ravens.
find out all of
Ravens.
this drama?
Ravens,
The Ravens.
yeah.
How are the Ravens flying so fast?
Not that fast. That's the other thing about the
it's
freaking
just still
show.
so crazy to me.
Everyone always drives me crazy because they're
no,
like,
everyone drives me crazy about time lapse.
they traveled and it only took 5 minutes, guys.
We know it didn't really, but still, it's
You
like,
always-
shouldn't it take like years?
How did John get there so fast? It took a month. We just didn't see the month. What are they going to show us an entire fucking month for?
I mean, but I feel like so much more could have
Well, it's only
happened in a
because
month.
they'll one scene you'll see these people traveling for a month, and then you'll go to a
Yeah.
different character and it's been a day.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
it's more interesting to see Tyrion traveling because of the things he has to say.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
realistically-
watch the Hound travel because who cares?
Can
He's
we
just
discuss
traveling.
who the worst characters are? Is that a thing?
Yeah, we're definitely.
Oh, there's so
absolutely.
many bad characters, though.
Pardon the interruption, folks. We'll be right back after this advertisement from our sponsors. Game of Thrones has finally come to an end after 20 plus years of filming and airing. And I bet you listeners are a lot like me. 5'10", rugged, handsome, and sad to see that series go. But I've got good news for you, because Disney wants me to announce that David Bienhoff and D.B. Weiss, the writers and showrunners of Game of Thrones, are going to be pioneering a new Star Wars trilogy based on the iconic role-playing video games Knights of the Old Republic. Bienhoff and Weiss have promised to bring the same 2/3 of the series enthusiasm that they brought to Game of Thrones to their new trilogy. That means episode 1 and 2 of this Knights of the Republic series will be almost shot for shot the first and second video games. Obviously they're going to add a lot more gratuitous violence, nudity, and dick jokes. But fans of the video game can expect to see their favorite characters brought to the big screen in an impressive and iconic way, for at least 2 of the movies. However, by the time they get to writing the 3rd movie, Bienhoff and Weiss have promised to phone it in the same way they phoned in the last third of the Game of Thrones series. That means rushed character arcs, paying lip service to the fans, giving plot armor to characters in a series that has been famous for shedding such armor. I, for one, can't wait to see the painstakingly tedious and detailed character arc of Darth Revan come crashing to a fiery halt in the 3rd episode of their series. So get excited for D.B. Weiss and David Bienhoff's Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
Why didn't we pick Daenerys?
I mean, the thing is, I think Daenerys is great. Like, I really do think she's incredible. But, I mean, Sansa is an elevated version of Daenerys, in my opinion.
Did we not pick Daenerys because of the show, though?
No,
Did the show ruin Daenerys?
No, because Daenerys went through the same things. Like, she went through a lot. She was a little girl, had to, like, grow up in this hard environment. But Daenerys, from the jump, had this sense of entitlement. Like, I lost something, y'all owe me. So it was always when she went into battle, so it was never like I'm fighting because I need to fight. It was like, no, I deserve this. I'm fighting you guys because I have to, because I deserve this. Like, she was very like, this is mine, so give it to me. And then she would get like tantrumy, like a toddler, like if she didn't get her way, to where she would act irrational and just do things out of being upset.
Well, that's the other thing too we got to talk about. These are all kids too. Like Daenerys is like 16.
Yeah, Daenerys is a 16-year-old.
We can't say they're kids because they're kids to us. Just like in like the 50s, a 16-year-old was like they had a different responsibility. So yes, they may have been kids in the numbers.
But we've got kids making decisions everywhere. Joffrey, Jon Snow,
right?
Like,
kids, so it doesn't
level the playing field.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. She was just very like, give me this. Like I'm the queen of, or you know,
she had like 9 titles. Yeah,
she had so many titles. She always let you know.
She wanted to be better than her brother, but I feel like she was just the same.
Yeah,
exactly. She lived by gifts.
She
lived by gifts. Like, she got married to the Call, and then the Call went and did shit for her.
You know what?
And then she got dragon eggs, and the dragons did stuff for her. And then Dario Naharis gave her a mercenary army.
She's giving all of her powers just handed to her.
That's why I'm saying Sansa because Sansa has a similar backstory.
Yeah, Sansa is the inverse.
Sansa deserves, but she never like said like, oh, I deserve this, and she had she had no dragons, like she had nothing, and then Daenerys is one of the people who had it all and then just lost it because of her ego. But she's still one of my favorite characters, and she had the coolest scenes and the cutest outfits.
Oh, yes. Daenerys had. I mean, they made her the season ending almost every time because she had so many badass scenes.
She had the coolest scenes.
Yeah,
and like
coolest character maybe Daenerys is one of the cooler characters.
She had cool scenes. I wouldn't say she's the coolest character.
I like her a lot.
I didn't like her.
I like her clapbacks. Like she clapped back a lot, and it was great.
She did because she wasn't getting her way.
Dracarys.
She just wasn't. It was like, oh, I'm not getting my way. Dragon burn them. Like she couldn't even do it herself.
It always felt like a tantrum.
Yeah, and I loved her dragon.
So I don't think okay. Well, let's talk about how the story goes, because I think it's widely agreed upon that the showrunners. A lot of people think they ruined her character. I think they just rushed her character, because I think if you have a character that's constantly throwing tantrums, I think she might have done something.
I do think she's going down that path.
From the beginning, I said, I was like, no, I was like, she's about to lose this. But I knew she was never going to be on that throne.
But the way the show did it was too fast.
Well, it was rushed because they didn't want to do
it happened in like 2 episodes.
She went insane in like the span of an episode.
Yeah, so it just felt,
and again, on Erica's point, the thing that broke her was that Jon didn't want to bang her anymore.
Yeah, like... Well, yeah, on the show. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean.
It needs to be more than that.
It was it was literally just temper tantrum every time.
Yeah.
Well, I think just like in general though, she felt like she was about to lose everything, so she started to go like, oh my god, I'm about to lose it. Like, and naturally I think that's how we all feel when we're about to lose something huge that we've worked so hard to get towards, and we can taste it.
Yeah.
It just makes you act irrationally.
Yeah.
Like,
I certainly burn down
So maybe
entire
George-
cities when I don't get my way.
Yeah. Well, then maybe George wrote that character well. I mean, that's a character that makes sense.
yeah,
you know?
she was irrational from the jump though.
Yeah, I think it's a long setup to make her become the Mad Queen.
Which sucks, but
The other fan favorites would be Arya, and Tyrion.
So yeah, why didn't anybody
Arya and
care?
Tyrion.
Well, I would
I think
say
Arya was too easy.
the opposite of Daenerys. I'd say Jon Snow is the other like
Oh, and
main
Jon Snow,
character.
That everyone loved, but Jon Snow's
But
a little bitch.
I think
agree.
Jon Snow is pretty boring.
yeah, he's so boring.
I like him. I think
Me
he's
too.
a good dude,
He's
hair
a
is
fellow
nice.
John,
I
but
love
you
his
gotta root
hair.
for him.
but he's not very interesting.
He's not
Honestly?
interesting. He's not brave. He's not really like adventurous. He's not a leader. He just is kind of like this side. There's nothing wrong with him, but he's just not
I hope that-
excitable.
I
He
really
just
hope
wants
that
to
the-
chill. He's just a dude that
literally-
wants to
he's
chill,
like,
and he
y'all-
has to
and
do all this
everybody's putting all
stuff.
these expectations on him, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Y'all stop making me
Can
the
I-
fan
yeah, can I
favorite.
just do my thing?"
But
Literally just want to
if you
ride
grew
a
up
horse.
though being, but okay, so good character though, because if you grew up being told that you're a bastard and like your adopted mom is like treating you like shit all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and your brother and sister and stuff are the ones being prepared to rule, you would also feel not worthy to rule.
Well,
you know?
it's not only. I don't think he doesn't feel worthy.
No, and
because
I don't
everyone
think that's a bad
because
thing.
now it's the exact opposite in his life. Literally, everyone's like Jon Snow, Jon Snow, Jon Snow, Jon Snow, and he's like, I'm gonna sit over here in this.
Well,
corner,
I
y'all."
also hope that the book does better than the show with that character too. I mean, we've seen in the book does better with all the characters. So I hope
Honestly-
that Jon Snow is not so lame in the book.
In the
Spoiler
book, we don't
alert,
even know what
the books
happens
aren't
after he gets
happening.
killed.
Yeah,
we don't
in
know.
the book, Jon Snow is dead.
Yeah,
That's true. But he's gonna come back.
That's true. See, and when he died,
I think
was
just
like,
the way he
good.
comes back is gonna be different.
Yeah, there's a chance that he might warg into a
That's
ghost.
what I think.
Yeah.
I think that'd be weird. I don't know. I think
In the
whole
books, there's a
concept
lot
of,
more magic.
I think the whole concept of the books doing something different at this point is just weird.
Yeah.
They've been doing this.
It's just weird though. Like the show's over.
Yeah, but the book.
I mean, I know the books can still go on, but it's like,
You got something to say about John Curry?
yeah, say it.
When I was listening to the audiobooks and it would shift narration and it would say like it would start talking about Jon Snow or Asha or whatever or any of the wildling people, I was just like I was literally disappointed. Like I would just be like, oh, it's a new chapter. Is it going to be Tyrion off in like Valyria? No, it's Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Damn it.
His journey with the wildlings,
Time
I
for
feel
another
like goes on
20
for
boring
too
minutes.
long.
Goes on for way too long. I completely forgot about
Yeah.
it until just now.
And then
also-
after that, like at least in the show when he comes back, all of that's kind of irrelevant.
completely until the last season, they're like,
Well,
go back to
he gets
this.
assassinated because of his friendship with the wildlings, because he wants to invite the wildlings
Well, and then
in.
he gets with the
Knights Watch
wildling
assassinate him.
girl.
Yeah, that was something that really
Wildling girl.
I felt like
But
really
he also married her in real life, so
Yeah.
I feel like that really
romance
broke
happened
John's
because of it.
honor when
it
like
did exactly.
when he broke his
That's what I'm
vows.
saying. He
Yeah.
has no real honor. Like he does not care about any of this stuff. He's like, listen, I'm just. Here
But to be
chill.
fair,
like I don't know what I want.
He's not
Chill.
Ned Stark's son.
He is.
Up in the
Yeah,
north.
he's not.
He's not Ned Stark's son. Yeah, and that's the other thing. He's a fucking
right.
Targaryen.
Right.
Yeah.
Which confirmed by the show, set up by the book, freaking brilliant. But yeah, there's other characters that are in the books that are not in the shows that are interesting characters. There's
Like
there's other
Catelyn?
Targaryens in the book.
Oh, I don't care.
Catelyn Stark. We've already warned everybody. Spoiler alerts. But if you have not read the books, sorry, we're gonna spoil it too.
Yeah.
Catelyn Stark is resurrected in the same way that Jon is eventually resurrected. The Red Priest.
And she's like a vengeful,
Oh God, yeah,
undead
yeah.
leader of the
And-
what is that group called?
The banner.
The Brotherhood Without Banners
Yeah.
or something?
That
sounds like a real
I
thing.
was like, that sounds like a clan.
Somebody look it up, look it
group
up.
or-
But
we need to know.
okay, well then here's another thing. I'm segueing back to Jaime now because this is the other thing. Jaime's character in the show gets ruined after he comes back to King's Landing. In the book, it gets even better because he comes back. He does have sex with Cersei one more time. In the show, they make it a fucking rape scene.
Yeah,
which is
in the
really
Septa
weird.
Baelor.
Yeah, he forces her to have sex, but in the book, I'm pretty sure it's consensual.
Wait, Jaime does this to Cersei?
Yeah, it's like
I
a
don't
rape
remember
scene.
that.
Yeah, it is the Brotherhood
Which
Without
suck-
Banners.
Brotherhood Without Banners. Okay.
Yeah, in the
It sucks
Septa
because-
Baelor,
Yeah, it fucking sucks
like
because
on
Jaime's
Joffrey's
arc-
tomb, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was
Jaime's arc in the book is bending towards good, and then in the show they're like, yeah, it's bending towards good, but we're gonna have him rape her. It was so weird, and I hated it. And then they finally did do that good moment where he's the in charge of the the cloaks. What is it called? I'm forgetting. He's the guy in charge of the Kingsguard. He's in charge of the Kingsguard at King's Landing, and he signs in the book, and it's like Jaime had an empty page. It's like he could write his own story. I thought that was so fucking awesome. They did it in the show, but then after that, they like make his character do like this whole buddy cop thing with Bronn, where he goes to Dorne, and he like loves his illegitimate children, which not in the book. Like that's not how he feels. And in the book, he goes north trying to recruit Northerners to join the Lannister cause. And there's this amazing arc with Lady Stark. Lady Stoneheart, there's this amazing arc with Lady Stoneheart where she runs into Brienne. Also, a cool thing about Jaime's character is part of his redemption story is like tied up with Brienne, who's a really cool character, and he, is trying to redeem himself by sending her to go save Sansa and Arya, and then she runs into Lady Stoneheart, which is Catelyn Stark resurrected, and she makes Brienne basically make a choice, like either you die or you go kill Jaime. And that whole plot is fucking very interesting to me. Like, I can't wait to see what goes on with that.
But also, I think it's right before then, right? Is when he gets the letter from Cersei asking him to be her champion. Yes. And he, crumples that shit up.
He throws it in the fire.
Yeah, that is so much cooler.
Which is so much cooler.
I'm not going back for her.
And the show fucking ruined him so hard. Because they make him go back to her in the end. Who the fuck is rooting for that incest relationship? For real.
Yeah, no one...
that ending was so weak for both of them.
Yes. So I'm sorry.
Especially for Cersei. She deserved more.
Cersei deserved more too.
Well, and what's even crazier is the entire last season... She stayed in that building.
Do fucking shit.
She did not leave that building. And so many people were posting memes like... Imagine getting paid millions of dollars to act and stare out of a window.
Yeah, to drink wine and stare out a window.
Yes,
yeah, that's all she did.
Could do
all right,
it.
so Jaime on the show, his character is ruined in the last season, just like Daenerys.
But most of them are.
Most of them are. Most of the characters are ruined in the last season.
I'll tell you whose character is not ruined in the last season.
The only person who wasn't was Sansa, and that's why it's hard. Yeah, Melisandre and Sansa.
Okay, so go ahead. What are you going to say, Curry? Last season, Melisandre is still strong.
Yeah, she's still strong. She's lost her champion. Resurrected Jon.
She walked up and she was like, hold up, let me light all these things, and she just touched and boom.
Let me take this army that can't do anything to the whites and make them useful.
Yeah.
And she did it so effortlessly. Like, she just walked up like, I'm tired of this, and just touched it.
The Dothraki were still stuffed out in literally 30 seconds.
Yeah, but that was more of a showrunner's choice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because here's the thing, no army would behave that way. You're not going to send your cavalry straight forward.
Yeah. And that too, going back to the Wildlings, that just made it feel like the whole... giant arc of bringing the Dothraki to Westeros is just wasted.
All right, so the show sucks. We don't have to say it anymore.
It's cool. There were still more Dothraki after they sent all the Dothraki.
Yeah, we saw them all die, and then there was still another army of them at the end.
Worst characters, though. I'm sorry, this is your show.
No, we can do worst characters.
Cool.
So we already roasted Daenerys and Jon, the two
Tyrion
main characters.
Tyrion and Arya.
I think Tyrion's a pretty solid character throughout the show.
Tyrion's good. We're doing worst characters.
And in the show,
is a valid
but there's two that, I'm saying, fan favorite that we're not picking.
But that doesn't mean they're the worst.
Yeah, we're talking about worst characters. Worst character, one pick each. Go.
All right, worst character, Bran.
There's not that
Bran
many
in the show, for sure.
I hate in this
Bran in the show. Bran in the show. In the book, we don't even know what he's going to be yet.
In the show, he's literally just a plot device to reveal the Targaryen thing, and then he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, well, he becomes the king of the
Six Kingdoms. That was weird. And I also didn't like them calling him Bran the Broken.
No,
I thought it was very strange.
I don't think anyone liked that.
Yeah, what? No.
Okay, so Bran sucks in the show. He's maybe okay in the book. We don't even know yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stop talking about the book because It's almost 2020. When did he write the last one?
Who legitimately sucks, though? I don't know. There's a lot of good characters.
It's a very good story, and there's not too many...
Well, we can talk about all the kids that don't do shit. Ramsay,
honestly,
I'm sorry. Everyone thinks Theon got better. Theon was still. I'm sorry. I don't care about Theon.
Theon sucks
from beginning to end. He did not have
He does get a cool moment in the show.
Yeah.
But there was nothing like, oh, good. It was like, no, bitch. Yes, that's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, no, Theon sucks.
I'm not proud of you for doing the right thing. You should have been doing that from the beginning.
Victorian Greyjoy, who is in the show. In the show, they just make him that douchebag guy, but I don't know what they call him.
You're talking about Euron?
Yeah.
Euron Greyjoy. Never mind, but there's also no Victorian.
That's the other
Greyjoy.
brother.
Yeah, Victorion's the other brother.
Yeah. They combine them together in the show and just make him one guy, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the show, he's just a douchebag pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Tywin.
Euron's probably the worst character. Euron and Daenerys are like
That's
the two that
probably
stand
true.
out to me.
You said Tywin?
Tywin's dope.
I think Tywin is a very good character.
He's
I
no
mean,
Kevin Lannister. Let's be real.
obviously
here.
morally
I see what you're saying. Morally bad,
bad,
but a good
absolute
character for the
shitty human
storyline.
being.
Okay.
But yeah, very
All right,
important.
Kevin
for the
Lannister shitty in both the show and book
No,
because
I love there was
why are you gonna
Kevin
name someone
Lannister.
Kevin?
That's my boy Kev.
Yeah, and at the end, didn't he get a line and they were like, "Sit down." Remember that?
Wait, I don't think that was Kevin. Kevin
Oh, it wasn't. It was
Oh.
Uncle.
You're talking about
Benjen?
the Tully dude. No,
Tully. Oh.
Catelyn's brother.
Catelyn's
Oh, okay,
brother.
never mind.
Yeah.
Whatever that
Oh
his name
shit!
is.
Where's characters? Who's the boy? Who's fucking Lysa Aaron's son? Robert Aaron? Is that
Oh,
his
the
name?
dude
Robin.
that's
Is it John?
breastfeeding? Yeah,
Robin
Robin.
Aaron. Robin Aaron is such a piece of
Okay.
shit.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
not a piece of shit.
Yeah, he is.
It's not his fault though.
Yeah, it's not his
Breastfed
fault.
until he was
I
8.
blame his
So
mom.
was Michael Jordan.
The fact that he is still
No,
on
he's
the tit
not.
at 13.
What?
Wait, what?
Where did that fact come from?
No, Michael Jordan's breastfed until he was like 4, I think.
Okay.
Really? Is that why it's a
Good at
all-star basketball?
Yeah.
Damn.
You gotta breastfeed till you're.
Why is she still
46
breastfeeding
rings.
Jack?
Because I'm an idiot. That's why.
God dang, getting that milk.
For real.
Anyway. Lysa Aaron, I thought was a maniac, and yeah, I liked her. I mean, any of the characters that like spur you on, like Joffrey, we hated him, but isn't that a good character
Yeah,
because he
that's the
makes you
thing.
hate him? You want to watch the show because you're like, I want that.
There's
little
not
kid to
that
die.
many that I would say are
know.
just a poorly
See,
written.
Joffrey was child's play though in the scheme of things that I'm thinking of now.
Oh, yeah.
Like I didn't like Joffrey, but then I'm thinking about like Ramsay, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah, no,
Joffrey
it gets
was
much
nothing.
worse.
Joffrey
Like,
killed arguably one of the best characters, who we can't even say is
Who
the
did
best
he kill?
character. He killed Ned Stark.
Yeah.
He didn't physically do it.
there was
though,
no
did he?
plan. There was not a plan to kill Ned Stark. He is the one who
Yeah,
ordered
he
it.
didn't physically kill
And
Ned.
Cersei's face is
yeah,
like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
like.
But he
are you
demanded
really
he be
doing this?
killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joffrey. I mean, but that's what you get for letting little blonde boys. be
He also
Yeah.
had his knights beat Sansa.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
See,
God.
that's why I'm like, Sansa went through that.
Oh,
she
yeah.
went through
Okay.
Ramsay.
She was
Fuck
married
show,
to the
though.
two
But in the book,
worst.
she does not go through Ramsay.
Okay, but the books don't matter because
No,
we don't
I'm
know
saying-
where she's going.
But
in
I
the
hate
books.
that the show
You
made her
can't-
go through another. We didn't
I'm-
need to see her go through another
Yeah,
abusive
you
relationship.
can't pick a
We didn't
favorite
need that.
character based off the books because the books aren't done.
Sure.
You have to pick it based
In the
off
later
of the show.
seasons. But Sansa's badass in the books because she is with Littlefinger, and she's put in a position in the books where I think she's going to have.
In the books, yeah,
same-
instead of going through Ramsay, she goes through more of Littlefinger and has to deal more with Tyrion when they're married.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot about her being married to him.
Yeah.
It lasts a lot longer in the books. In the show, it's pretty quick.
Yeah, and also Tyrion in the books is a little bit. He's not as nice in the books because, like, I remember in the books, just like having you get to see their thoughts in the books. That's what makes it really cool is you get to see the characters' thoughts, and so that's why I want to use them for sure. But Tyrion in the books is like, oh well, I feel sorry for this girl, but whatever. Like that's his thought in the thing. And in the show, he's so sympathetic and like so sad and like dripping with it, you know, like. But anyway,
All right, what about Arya? Another fan.
Arya is a fan favorite.
Why didn't we pick her?
I think the
'Cause it
reason
was too
why
easy, right?
I love her. I think she's one of the most badass characters.
Yeah,
I
she
think-
didn't have any exponential growth, in my opinion.
No,
Yeah.
her character's very
No, I feel
plotted
like
out.
I feel like her arc started off awesome for like the first half.
Pretty much until she got to the house of Black and
Yeah,
White.
then we finally get to where she's gonna do assassin training, and like you get super pumped, and then I think it was pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that cool.
In both.
I'm glad they gave her the scene in the last
The
season.
kill.
Yeah,
That
the
was pretty
big
dope.
kill. I'm glad
Yeah.
they did, but it was
Although I
also
feel like
like
Jon needs to do that in the books, though. I feel like Jon and the White Walker are like the two like enemies, like the two fire and ice. You know, like I don't know. I feel like that's how it should be in the book.
Or I thought,
She should assassinate Cersei.
based on like the setup in the show, I thought like
it was badass.
I thought Bran was gonna go into like someone's body and do it or
same
something.
here. I thought Bran was gonna do something better. I don't know.
But he literally, that's what another way his character is wasted. He's just sitting there as bait.
Yeah,
He doesn't actually do anything.
Arya can warg into Lymeria in the book.
Yeah.
She's like having dreams and like sees in her wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they can
And
all do that shit in
do
the
you remember
book.
who predicted that Arya might kill the White Walker King, Night King, Melisandre?
Melisandre.
Yeah.
But at
Melisandre.
the
Not
same
not
time,
Bran, who can see
they
the
also
future.
said-
Yeah.
yeah. She also said something else though that didn't happen.
The reason I love Melisandre, is because she's not always right.
Yeah.
And I love to see her character sort of go through like
Yeah.
the pains of not being right, and like I don't know. I think the sacrifices that she makes eventually do start to wear on her because
Yeah,
she's like, I'm making
it's one of those
sacrifices.
things. I think it's all like kind of greater good, in the sense that like she is trying to get Stannis to save the realm,
Right.
But then leads Stannis
But then
to
it
this
doesn't work.
demise.
Yeah.
But because of that, they end up being able to save the realm.
Right.
I think
So she was necessary.
Yeah,
in the
she's a
end.
tool of R'hllor.
Exactly. She's a tool, but would she be a leader? Would she be fit to actually be?
Oh, no, she's
be
not a
who
leader.
She is. She's just dust.
if
She's just dust.
if Stannis actually had been able to become king with her at his side, I think they would have been able to handle the White
would have
Walkers much easier.
Possibly.
Because one, he was willing to believe it, while everyone else scoffed at the idea of White Walkers
What
coming
happened
back.
to Stannis in the end, though?
In the show,
Yeah.
he got killed
He got killed in
by
the
Brienne.
Brienne gets to him in the
In the
north,
show?
yeah.
Yeah, to get revenge for
And
him.
we don't know his fate necessarily in the
He's
book.
not
right?
dead in the book.
He goes off to fight the Battle of the Bastards, or not even yet.
They're
The Battle of the Bastards hasn't even happened.
they're
because Jon
outside,
went
camped
He's
outside
in-
Winterfell in a blizzard.
He's in the north, yeah.
In a blizzard. So it's not
We're
looking
gonna
good
make
for
the
him.
listeners confused when you talk about.
Nah,
the
dude.
books.
We got people. She thinks that no one's ever
I
read the
literally,
books.
I'm gonna say it's definitely like 60-40.
Oh, well,
60
60
people
not bad.
haven't read the book.
60 people?
60%.
Only 100 listeners. 60 of them have.
So I'm
40
gonna
of them
pull some
have.
people. John's gonna pull some people.
But she's gonna pull people on her Instagram,
But
which
maybe
is like very biased.
maybe our references will encourage people to read the book.
That's
because
so true. And get out there and get reading,
Yeah,
y'all.
because they'll be
Yes.
like, "Whoa, that sounds much cooler than
More than
how the
anything,
shitty
just
show
get the
ended."
audiobooks.
You're welcome, George R.R.
Get the audiobooks. Yeah.
Listen to that crap on your 1 hour commute to work or something.
That's
Exactly.
true.
That'll last you like half a year.
How you doing, folks? It's Mike Lannister here. That's right, Mike Lannister. It might sound like the most normal name in all of Westeros, but maybe you've heard of my dad, Kevin Lannister. He was great. It's sad that he had to either die by a crossbow or getting blowed up, but I'm doing all right, because I've got a new book of baby names for all you guys out there who are tired of naming your kids complicated names like Tyrion or Khaleesi. What's a Khal Drogo? Anyways, my book, Mike Lannister's Easy to Pronounce and Remember Baby Names, is on sale now at any of your local scroll shops. You could give your kid a name like Jeff Stark, Tommy Tyrell, Steve Targaryen, Gary Greyjoy, Jennifer Baratheon, Mary Martell, and of course, Mike Lannister. All that and more inside of Mike Lannister's baby names that are easy to pronounce and remember.
Jaime, like I said, besides having, I think, the most interesting arc, like a really great redemption story and a really interesting arc, I also really love Jaime I think that Jaime's the best character because, like I said, the main plot, a lot of it revolves around his actions. Like, he kills the Mad King, and history is very important in the Game of Thrones, like this whole world. And him killing the Mad King, I mean, there wouldn't be a Game of Thrones.
There would be a Joffrey.
There wouldn't be a Game of Thrones. There wouldn't be a Joffrey. There wouldn't be a lot of stuff if he hadn't done what he did.
We can't
and
say what
I
if.
think I'm going to do what ifs.
I think
that
more
in the
than any
books,
other
he will
characters,
kill
Stannis
his
and
sister.
Melisandre
That's what I wanted
change
to happen.
the effect of the world.
I think that
That's
Jaime will. I think that in the end, it's going to be like a very parallel story of like he killed the Mad King, and then he's going to assassinate his
That would
sister,
bring his story full circle.
his sister, or maybe he joins Daenerys and does it to her. But I think it would be a cool parallel story, like Kingslayer and Kinslayer, and he is doing the honorable thing both times. And I fucking love it too because it reminds me of Snape in a way because not that he's playing both sides, but that he's a character that nobody loves. Literally, both sides think he's a piece of shit. Like even the Kingsguard are like, "Oh yeah, it's Kingslayer." Like,
I never liked Snape from beginning to end.
But I'm saying like he doesn't have his honor. He never has his honor, and a character that is treated like that is obviously going to act. a
But
certain
also,
way.
he also doesn't try to reclaim his honor. Like when he tells
eventually he
when he
does.
tells Brienne the story,
Yeah.
like he could make that story public
Yeah.
and try to defend himself, but he doesn't. He just
But
he accepts that burden.
What's really cool about him is he goes through sort of the same. He goes through like almost an inverse of like Harry Potter or like Daenerys, where it's like he is born with wealth, good
Oh, yeah, he
looks.
has everything.
He's got good looks. He's got skill.
One of the best fighters.
One of the best fighters. He's also, I mean, this is a positive for him. He's fucking the queen. I mean, that's not, I don't really care about that for me. I don't want that to be, that's not cool to me, but he thinks it's cool, right? And then he loses it. His looks get a little tattered because he's a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
He also starts to see that he thinks like Cersei is really just using him more than anything. Like that maybe she was getting pregnant with his children so that she wouldn't have to get pregnant with Robert's.
I respect the argument, but he's not the best character.
I think he's
such
a great character.
Right now.
Such a great character. Anyway, but yeah.
What were you saying earlier, Curry, though, about Stannis and Melisandre?
Oh, that, like, if you think that Jaime is driving the story, like, impact of the story, his impact is almost entirely limited to, like, the King's Landing region. And then the rest of the world is, like, Stannis and Melisandre or Daenerys.
Daenerys, yeah. So Sansa doesn't seem to have...
But no, because this isn't about driving the story. It is who is the best character.
Yeah, someone who drives the story is a good character.
Yeah, I'm just saying that one of the points that he made about being a best character is inferior to a number of other characters.
Blank. Y'all can't change my minds because y'all didn't pick any women, so I'm feeling...
I picked a woman.
Negative point.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I need to pay attention.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, check your privilege.
Curry might be right.
Curry, you're a fucking sexist.
Curry might be right.
No, Erica said no foreign women, I guess.
No foreign women, yeah. She's America first. Trump 2020. That's
is
Erica.
Melisandre not...
She's from a different continent.
She's from Essos, yeah. She's from Ashai by the Shadow.
There's more land out there.
Daenerys is over there. That's where Daenerys is at.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's somewhere near where Daenerys meets.
No, honestly, compared to the other continent, Westeros is so tiny.
The world's too big. Why are they fighting?
Basically, they're fighting over Europe and Asia exists.
Yeah, that's roughly the equivalent. I mean, I know...
That's crazy.
I've heard the quote of George R. R. Martin saying that Westeros is the size of South America, roughly.
Oh, really? Oh, God, that's pretty big.
That is pretty big.
But, okay, so Sansa, we all have negative and positive points that make our character the best. I think negative towards Sansa, she doesn't drive the plot too much.
That's true.
But then, so what else can we say about her that makes her great?
Literally everything.
Okay.
In the show, Sansa's a whiny bitch. That's what I have to say.
Oh, damn.
No. At the beginning, she does start off very... And that's why it's so remarkable to me that she's not... Because at the beginning, she's just like...
Yeah, it's not like Daenerys where she's whiny and then gets superpowers.
Yeah, she's like, I want to be Joffrey's girlfriend. I want to be a wife. I want to be a mom. And then she gets like broken by men to where she's like, I don't need this.
Well,
Jon, don't listen to this woman. Like,
she is George R. R. Martin's archetype for like the viewer who is expecting a fairy tale.
Yeah.
She is the viewer who's expecting a fairy tale. He's basically breaking her to break us. Like, no, this is not going to be a story about princesses marrying a Prince Charming and this and kind of that. Her story is like the opposite of any real fairy tale. That's pretty amazing.
She started off like that, like very like whine. She complained a lot.
That's a good character. I like that.
She didn't like to get dirty, and then we had to just watch her like go through so much
and grow from it,
and grow and become a queen. And she's probably the only one we watched become like really earn her way to becoming queen.
And she has and if you like that arc, she has a more stable arc in the book because that Ramsay shit doesn't happen. Which I think the Ramsay brings her back down to the depths, and it felt so unnecessary. Like I hated that part of the show.
I barely remember it.
I hated it. Sansa being in Winterfell with Ramsay fucking sucked. It was a bummer. I think I fast forwarded through one of those scenes because I was like, I don't want to watch him force himself on her. I don't want to watch that anymore.
Yeah.
I also didn't want to watch the Ramsay
torturing
Theon stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, everything involving Ramsay was pretty unpleasant.
Was absolutely could have done with that.
He was just like a torture porn character.
Yeah,
torture porn. God.
I even thought that the Battle of the Bastards was trash, honestly, and I know that's an unpopular opinion.
When does that happen?
It was dirty as fuck.
Is that in the book or in the movie?
It's in the movie. It's the show. I mean, it's the one where Jon fights Ramsay.
Jon Snow is like getting like swallowed by guys, just like corpses on top of him because it's so bloody.
Let's just talk about how they saved Jon Snow way too much. Way too much.
Oh yeah.
Jon Snow should have been dead like multiple.
Honestly, I like to think of season 6 and 7 as like 6 onwards as fanfic.
Yeah, 6 and 7
yeah,
fanfiction.
basically.
I would say that season 7, you don't even need to watch the last 3 episodes. Like I think
the story is better without him.
Be a part of it.
No,
it's better
but like
him.
I said, the cinematography
watch Arya
so
kill.
Pretty.
Watch Arya kill the Night King, and that's it.
That's so was episode 8 cinematography.
Chills.
Honestly,
after that, it's done. After that, no more. We don't need to see the shitty endings like the last.
Yeah,
episodes.
but what's her name gets that really pretty braid at the end that I was talking about.
Daenerys or Sansa?
No, Sansa. Daenerys always had braids, and she
Sansa does become the Queen of the North in the end, which that adds to your character. But
Yeah, I like to
She
pretend that
created her own
scene didn't
independent.
exist. But...
She created her own independent.
Isn't that some hardcore fucking nepotism? Like,
It really-
oh, Bran's the king. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the North. Is that okay, Bran? Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
but
what the
then-
And
fuck?
then everyone else is just
Well,
like,
and
oh,
that's what was
fuck.
messed
Oh,
up
shit.
about the 4 of them surviving in the end. And it's just like, one of them should have died. Like,
The Starks had complete control.
Oh, yeah, it's
No,
a
they had
Stark
plot.
dynasty now.
Yeah.
Stark
like,
dynasty. And not only that, dude, they fucked up Jon Snow's character in the end too. They made him go back to the
All right,
North.
let's
he
keep
was
on
happy.
track here.
No, I
we
actually
can
like that
trash
ending.
the end of
He
Game
was
of Thrones
happy.
all year
I
long.
Yeah, we
think
could do
Jon
that all day, that's
going
true.
to live with the wildlings is actually pretty good.
he
I
was
like
happy,
that ending for
and
him.
I think that's what he wanted.
Because yeah, he never
by
cared.
choice.
He
I'd rather
never.
it happened by choice. Him being forced.
Oh
to
yeah,
live
no,
sucks
being
balls.
banished there.
Yeah, that's
And then the
Well, no, he's banished to the
and
wall, and he
Undying left.
chooses to go north of the wall with the wildlings.
The Undying left what?
Or yeah, what are they called?
The Unsullied.
Unsullied. I mean, yeah, they're like,
yeah,
all right,
no,
John
yeah,
banished.
Some of the worst
Bye.
characters for you. What's her name? Missandei.
Oh god, Miss Sandy in the show.
When
gave
they
her way
chopped
too
her
much
head off,
attention.
I was like, is this supposed to affect anybody? Because I don't think anybody cares that you chopped her head off except for Khaleesi.
Here's what happened. The show did not have a diverse enough a cast.
Yeah.
And they wanted to put a woman of color as a main character. And so
Yeah.
they gave Missandei a lot more scenes. It sucks. I mean, I wish they'd have had more better women of color characters. Like, they could have had the chick from Dorne be more, ethnic, and they could have had her have a bigger role, but they didn't.
The Princess of
I mean,
Dorne
yeah,
isn't
Dorne
even
was
like a
supposed to have more
character
of a
in the
role
show,
anyways.
and she's a major player in the books.
Dorne.
Yeah, she is.
That's where
Dorne
the
is like Spain.
Kardashians are.
Dorne is like Kardashians.
Kardashians.
Oh my gosh, yes,
Yeah.
I loved it when they were.
And let's
The-
remember here
the
that
Vipers.
Dorne just didn't exist in the final season.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, in the book, Dorne has a huge plot.
No, Dorne looked so pretty too.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like warm. Everybody
Dorne
was
is awesome.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see more of
It's
the
like a
water
paradise
gardens and
compared
stuff.
to the
Yeah.
rest of Westeros.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No, the people of color in the show are like everyone that's on, not Westeros, but Essos.
Essos, yeah.
Everyone that's on Essos.
And we pretty much didn't see any of them.
Yeah, it's like Dothraki are supposed to be,
Yeah, they're like Mongolian
I mean, like-
horde.
Yeah.
Mongolian.
Yeah, remember when Jason Momoa was on the show, guys?
Yeah.
Oh god, Jason Momoa, Khal Drogo,
Very
fucking
good.
badass for sure.
Do we
for some reason,
do
I
we need to talk
expected
about the
them-
casting? I feel like we always do
I expected
that.
them to bring
Casting's
him
great.
back.
Yeah.
I think the casting's pretty
Yeah, I mean, they were all no names.
Can you
until
think of
the show,
any
in my
characters
opinion.
where you're like, that casting sucks? I can't really.
No. Yeah.
But maybe
what was that
I
guy?
watched the show first.
What was that guy, the singer that was in the last season?
Oh God.
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. Yeah, maybe they should
I
have
mean,
cast him.
okay, that was kind of random, but
But no, the casting was great because I didn't know any of these
Apparently,
actors
there's
and
a lot
actresses
of
before.
actors and actresses, not actresses, more actors that we would know, like American actors who are secretly in, who were just an extra in the scenes because
Oh,
they
yeah,
wanted
they-
to be a part
they
of the
did
final
that a
season
lot.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
talking about?
what's his name from It's Always Sunny?
Oh
Yes, yeah.
Rob?
Rob was
Yes.
A White Walker?
no, he was
was,
like
he had the guard stuff on.
one of the freaking
Kingsguard?
no, one of the pirate dudes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was,
Oh, was
but
he
they
from the
couldn't-
Golden Company? Was he one of those guys?
No, from Euron. He was like on Euron's
Oh, okay.
He's a
ships or
great guy.
something, right?
I think. I know he was just
He was on a
an
ship
extra
and just
yeah,
got
it's
killed.
just
He got shot through the eyes.
Right.
Man, remember when the Golden Company was in there for half an episode? That was a cool.
That was.
God.
They shouldn't have even bothered including it in the
No.
show if they weren't going to do anything with them. It was so pointless.
Let me think. Yeah, I mean, we should just argue for our characters now. I guess we're
already
getting
have.
close to an hour.
Yeah, we already have.
argued for him.
I mean, I haven't heard much about Stannis.
I need to hear more about
And-
Stannis. Yeah, let's hear more about
Yeah.
Stannis before we make our
We
decision.
proved that the
okay.
two female characters we're arguing for are bad bitches, but
Yeah.
not much else.
And you know what? And I can come to an agreement that Sansa does not drive the
Yeah, but
plot,
every character has
but
plus-
she
plus
is
and negatives.
amazing. Period. I don't know. Maybe I just like Cersei Turner a lot too. So I don't know.
Cersei's a good character, I guess, except she's just very stagnant. She's pretty much the same the whole series through.
I like Cersei because as a mom, I am Cersei.
Yeah.
Like, you do not mess with my children. I will kill you first. Like, my kids can do no wrong for the most part.
Also, the fact that she
I'm
was able
Cersei as a
to not have Robert Baratheon's children and only have Jaime's, like, she
Well,
was
what
very
about
manipulative.
Catelyn Stark though? I think
Catelyn Stark's dope.
that's the better mother
I don't
character.
remember her enough.
She
Well,
went
she
to bat
grabbed
for
a
Catelyn.
knife from an assassin with her bare hand to stop
with
them
a
from
bare
killing
She
her.
defends her
That's
kids to the death, and her kids aren't giant pieces of shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, God. Red Wedding. All right, anyway.
And I feel like she got a lot of flack from viewers when she let Jaime go and stuff.
That was...
But I was like, it fits the character perfectly.
Yeah.
She doesn't care about the war at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's just trying to keep her kids alive. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like
That's a mother's love right
yeah,
there.
it's pretty reasonable from her standpoint.
Yeah. The other thing that makes Jaime great is that the other Lannisters are really fucked up and manipulative, and I don't think Jaime has the manipulativeness in him. Like, a lot of the stuff...
But that's what happens when you're a twin, though. Like one twin absorbs a lot more than the other.
Yeah.
So he couldn't be.
He was also cool, not when they were younger, but when they were older with Tyrion. I mean, he lets Tyrion escape. He saves Tyrion whenever Tyrion's going to die.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jaime is like... He's a Lannister, which makes him suck, but then he is against the grain a lot, and I think he realizes how fucked up his dad is, and...
But honestly, I really do think it's a twin dynamic, though.
And he was so pissed off at
Cersei's
Tyrion
so bad,
for
he
killing...
has to be that way.
He was so pissed off at Tyrion because he thought he killed Joffrey or whatever, but in the book, he wouldn't care about that at all, because he doesn't care about Joffrey. Like, it's just that kid that my sister raises. Like, that's who Joffrey was to him. But anyway, Stannis, last thing, and then we'll do our...
So, I mean, it's just hard with him still being alive in the books and not in the show. Mm-hmm. And obviously him sacrificing his daughter is a pretty major, like, end to his story in the show. Mm-hmm. And we don't know if that's going to happen, so it's kind of hard. Obviously, that kind of takes points away from him.
Well,
I think that gives him points as a character that he burned his daughter alive.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but it's like...
Yeah, it's like her or the entire world.
Yeah, no, it's the more extreme of what he did with his brother.
Yeah. But also, it's like he keeps... It's like breadcrumbs to that path. Like, he keeps getting... It's getting worse and worse.
He
and worse.
has no, like, familial allegiance. He's constantly thinking about the kingdom as a whole, I think. Mm-hmm. And yes, he does go to, like, violent extremes, but I still think it's a strength. Like, he is always looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
He's always trying to do what he thinks is best for the greater good, rather than, you know, it's the opposite of Catelyn Stark, say.
Yeah.
Who is willing to sacrifice the war for her kids.
Or Cersei.
Yeah, he's the opposite.
Yeah.
He's like, even my own child, if that's what it takes to save the
that's
world.
True. It is a juxtaposition. Yeah.
If that's what it takes to save the world from the army of the undead coming or whatever.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, like, political symbolism and stuff like that going on, like, for, like, our own times, like, then, you know, like, who's willing to sacrifice... I mean, children are a metaphor for the future, you know what I mean, for the next generation. So, like, the other thing about Stannis that's interesting is he's also coming into the story as sort of a whipping boy, because he helped his brother get the throne.
Oh, he was always in his brother's shadow, basically.
Yeah.
And even after Robert became king, Stannis was the one out there still fighting his wars while Robert grew soft and fat on the throne.
Yeah, and so, like, when Renly steps up, I can see Stannis being like, motherfucker, what?
Yeah, I did all the work.
Yeah. But also, it's my turn.
I would say, like, he didn't even... What I also like about him is he doesn't necessarily want the throne. Mm. I think he views it more as his duty.
It's a duty, yeah.
It's not until he gets the letter from Ned Stark saying that you are the king that he steps up.
Stannis loves duty.
Yeah, he loves Dookie.
Duty? Did you say duty?
What?
What'd you say?
Yeah, duty.
I forgot. But
D-O-O-D-I.
yeah, he wasn't like... He wasn't trying to undermine his brother and, like, you know, get the throne from under him while he was alive. It wasn't until he was told that he's next in line that he steps up and says, okay, I need to do this.
Yeah. All right, well, anything else to say about Melisande?
She's implicated in the deaths of everyone important, including the Night King, Joffrey.
Oh, shit. How's she getting Joffrey?
When Stannis has her burn the leeches full of king's blood to slay the 3 false kings.
Fuck, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
She's responsible for all of the other...
But...
Yeah, Robb Stark, Renly Baratheon, Joffrey.
One honorable mention that I want to say is Olenna Tyrell.
Oh, she's
Olenna Tyrell in the
so
show.
Sick.
I think she's actually better in the show than in the book.
Ooh, yes. That's Granny, right?
Olenna
Yes.
Tyrell,
Oh my
Granny.
God.
She's
What was her
That old
title?
lady is so
Lady of
badass.
Thorns or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
She is so fucking cool because, like, even Tywin Lannister, like, can't win a conversation with her. Like, she just beats them all.
She takes shit from no one.
I love the way she talks to Cersei. I love when Cersei's in scenes with her and she just fucking destroys Cersei every time. God, dude, I would seriously watch a supercut of just all of the Tyrell scenes.
Or she tells Jaime that she killed his son without giving a shit. And
She drinks the poison and is like...
Yeah, no fucks given.
It was me.
God, she gets the last word even in death. She gets the last word.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Oh, man. Yeah, Olenna Tyrell's a badass for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Marjorie's pretty interesting too. She's very manipulative, even though she doesn't see. But she's like, I'm a goody two shoes, but she's not.
I wanted to see more from her, and then it seemed like she was working slowly to like doing some major political shit, and then she just gets snuffed out.
I like that the Sept of Baelor got fucking blown up by Cersei. Wildfire, she fucking.
That is Cersei's like coolest moment.
Oh,
though.
what about
that scene when she blows up the shit?
And then Tommen just dips off the edge.
Oh yeah.
No, that was tight when Tommen did that. I was like,
that's
same.
so sad though.
It was.
No. It's the least sad death of the show because he was like, you know what? Nah, and just jumped out. Like he didn't get killed. He just was
Who's
like,
gonna feed Sir
screw
Pounce
this.
though? His cat.
He was like, screw this, and I would have been the exact same
Sir
way.
Pounce did not get enough screen time. That's what I want to say.
True.
No, but the Sparrow.
I'm sorry,
High
Sam
Sparrow?
Harley.
High Sparrow. We didn't talk about the mountains.
I didn't
Sam.
care.
We didn't talk about Sam. Oh god.
No, I don't care about Sam at all.
Sam also wasted in the show.
Sam,
I think.
I did not. Okay,
Is Sam
I was
the
like,
writer's
Sam is
ego,
one
though?
of like 3 people to kill a White Walker.
But is Sam the writer's ego a little bit? Like, is he George R. R.
Oh,
Martin
Sam
setting
is
himself
George
in
R.
this
Martin,
way?
absolutely.
I didn't like
yeah.
his relationship with Gilly either. Like, I just didn't
Gilly.
care.
Sam is
Wait,
trash,
isn't that her name on the
basically.
Yeah, I
show?
think so.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Is it
Who?
Gilly?
Sam
Yeah.
is
it's
trash.
Gilly.
Sam and Gilly.
It's
Yeah.
just like he got too much screen time on the last season.
Yeah.
Well, he got
could've
screen
been
time
developed-
and then
shit.
didn't redeem himself.
Yeah, they could've
I
been
thought he
like-
was going to be cool in the end.
Yeah, they could have been like developing Daenerys' story a little bit more.
there's
They
too
gave
many
him
characters
so
in Game
much
of
screen
Thrones.
time.
No, that's.
Because I was going to talk about
Of
Daenerys's
course.
insane
guy.
amount of
What's
characters.
Daenerys' guy?
Ew, the guy
Sir
with Grace
Jorah?
Will.
Sir Jorah.
Oh,
I
couldn't
love
stand
Ser
him.
Jorah.
Sir Jorah's pretty dope.
I really like
did
him.
not like
I don't
him.
like
He's
Ser
also a really
Jorah in the
complex
books.
character. Sir Jorah's, he's going to kill her at first and then he falls
Yeah.
in love with her. Like,
Yeah, see, I don't like that.
he's not just in love with her romantically, but like in love with the idea of her being queen.
Yeah, he is her
He's trying to
first.
ride that wave.
She
No, I
recruits
think
like
I see
all of
something
these
there.
devout
That's what I mean.
followers,
It's not
but
a wave
he's
yet.
the first.
It's not a wave. She didn't even have dragons at that point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh yeah, no, he stood.
When she got those dragons, so he was like,
Yeah, he did
like,
fight.
He was already like that.
He
I think.
fought Khal
Yeah.
Drogo's blood riders 1v3 or something like that outside of his
Honestly,
tent while
I think
Daenerys
he's
is
just
resurrecting him
another
with
man who got
Mizmeder.
caught.
Or what's her
Yeah.
name? Is it Mizmeder?
That the witch.
Yeah,
I can't
whatever.
remember.
He was just another dude who got caught in a lie, and he was like, all right, I got to play this off, and then he fell in love.
But that's the other crazy thing is the lie doesn't come out until later, like much later.
Yeah, when Sir Barristan
Oh
comes.
man,
right?
Sir Barristan, yeah.
Also another cool character.
Barristan Selmy, yeah.
Barristan doesn't
Yeah, they
go to her in the show, does he?
In the
I think he just ditches. No,
Yeah,
in
no,
the books he goes to
is
meet
it
up with her.
Varys? Is it
He goes
Varys
to her
that
in the
tells-
show, and then he dies in
Or is it Tyrion that tells her in the show?
It's not Tyrion.
No, Jorah and Tyrion meet
Sir
up.
Barristan joins her and dies with Grey Worm. They're like fighting the assassins.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
Didn't care for Grey Worm.
Yeah, in the show, him and Strong Belwas join together, right?
Yeah, there's no strong Belwas,
With her.
unfortunately. Oh, that would have been Matt's character, by the way. I just gotta
Strong
state
Belwas.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Matt
Strong
absolutely
Belwas
would
was
have
a
supported
beast.
her.
We miss you, Matt.
Yeah.
Beric Dondarrion. We didn't talk about any of those guys. Oh, but I want to say one more thing about Jaime. Yeah, he saves Brienne from getting raped, and Brienne is also a really cool character. But yeah, he goes back. That's the first noble thing he does. Is he has his hand cut off. He's leaving, and he decides to go back and save her from. I think those guys are called the Brave Men. I think that's what their group is called, like the Brave Men or something.
The
which
Good
is-
Boys or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like the Good Boys.
Just a lot of
The
questionable names here.
Nationalists. What are they called?
Good old boys, huh?
Something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Proud Boys.
Yes, that's
Oh.
that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to
Even
think
worse.
of.
They had some...
Now I'm curious about George R. R. Martin.
Step aside, Laurel and Hardy. Move out of the way, Abbott and Costello. Because there's a new comedy duo in town straight from King's Landing. That's right, Varys and Tyrion are hitting the road with their new show, The Eunuch and the Dwarf. You'll hear all of your favorite dwarf and eunuch jokes, plus some new ones. Famous quips such as, I'm not happy. Well, which of the 7 dwarves are you then? And, you should consider yourself lucky. At least your balls won't freeze off. And who can forget this famous burn in front of life-threatening dragons? I would ask you to help me unchain these dragons, but you don't have the balls for it. Just call now at 1-800-GOT-JOKE. That's 1-800-GOT-JOKE. And you can own a copy of this side-splitting duo in 2 VHS cassettes for only $19.99 each. Don't miss out on lines like, I may not have balls, but I'm twice the man you are. Call now at 1-800-GOT-JOKE.
Anything else to say about anything, or are we doing this?
It's still very hard for me to separate mine and Curry's characters, honestly.
It is.
Yeah, they are paired together almost the entirety of the series.
But I guess when I die, you go on without me and
and get the job done.
Easily move on to the next person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then
that's the thing. She has only one.
That also means you were wrong
her
about me.
Her destiny is to save the world from the Great Other.
Also, I feel like it's just proven that the Lord of Light is real based on her powers.
Her powers, kind of validate the faith in the book.
But remember that time though where she was like, "Oh shoot, this isn't working. Is he real? He's real." Do you remember that moment?
I think so.
Where like it wasn't working for a split second, and you could see in her face,
her
she was
faith
like,
falters for a second.
I mean, Barrick Dondarrion also gets brought back like 30 times though, which there's some kind of magic going on. He was sent by Ned Stark to go bring the mountain to justice.
Never mind. I don't need to know. I don't remember.
He gets killed like several times, and he becomes Catelyn Stark's boy when Catelyn Stark gets resurrected in the books.
I think it's hard to honestly narrow all of this down to one person because there are so many people.
We're about to do it right now, though.
But I really truly think it has to be a top 3. So we'll just.
This is the top.
Yeah. So the top 3 is just us minus Jamie
and Michael Curry, not yours.
We have a top already. It's the ones that we've chosen.
Yeah, I know we have a top 4. I think we narrowed it down to a top 3.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on the top 3.
We're gonna vote right now, and whichever character gets the most votes is the best character. No arguments passed now. Even though there's a million characters,
we are gonna vote for our own characters.
We're not all gonna vote for our own characters.
Okay, how about we?
Are we not? Is anyone not gonna vote for their own character?
Everyone has to pick somebody who wasn't their character.
No, that's not how it is.
Because that's what makes it a real even.
You don't decide the format of the show.
No, how it always happens. Almost everyone votes for their own character, and one person flips. So then one character gets 2 votes, and they win. That's how.
Honestly, okay. I'll admit something here, which I can't even admit because we weren't wrong. We can't be wrong. That's the only problem.
What?
Is that I should have voted for Magneto last time. I was planning on voting for Magneto the whole time.
I won anyways.
But which is good because he won anyway. But I was going to vote for him. I said Xavier in a moment of like, I'm arguing for my character kind of thing, but I really was going to actually vote for Magneto.
In Harry Potter, I went Snape with you.
Snape was the best.
Okay, so here's the thing. We're voting out of the ones that we picked.
Out of these 4.
But the problem is I debated and then I convinced myself. So like, I literally... Yeah. All right, here we go.
We're voting out, we're voting out
we know there's only one character that can't win, and that's Jamie.
Right, exactly.
What?
No, I completely...
None of us are going to vote for
such a strong character.
So, if we're voting on the ones that we picked, it's so hard because, like, here's the thing. Out of the ones that we picked, I just feel like it's a hard comparison because, like...
Best character.
They're the weird... Like, they're all so different and all have such different...
All right, well, here's one thing we haven't done, and I'll have to cut it in. 3-dimensional. That means characters that are complex. I mean, all of George R. R. Martin's characters feel 3-dimensional to me. Yeah. I mean, they all have, like... If you can poke and prod the character and say, why would they do that? And there's a reason for it, that's a good character. And I think all of them have that, right? Like, we can say, why is Sansa whiny in this way and why does she change? We can figure that out.
I mean, but that's
why is Jamie the way he is? We can figure that out.
That's almost every good TV show, period.
Now? But that's not
my point is that we have a top 3.
We're not talking about what it used to be. All right, let's just vote.
Biggest plot drivers, Jamie, Melisandre, Stannis to a lesser extent, Sansa to a lesser extent.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
She's last place.
So we've got all 3-dimensional, and we have 2 that are definitely
Stannis is
top.
a pretty big driver of the plot.
Stannis.
He's one of the 5.
Bran, I'm so sorry, but I don't even know who's. I did not remember Stannis was a character until.
Okay, no, his stuff happens earlier on. For
most popular.
He's the one who's balding.
We talked about most popular. Tyrion, Arya, Jon. Who's most popular out of all of our characters? Is it Melisandre?
Yeah, ours are not the most popular.
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly, out of ours, probably
Sansa out of ours.
No, it's easily.
I don't think Jamie's one of the most popular amongst us. Yes.
It's easily
as
Sansa.
a whole. I don't think so.
If you ask anybody standing on the street, do you know who this is? You know who this is? They'll say Sansa.
All right, which character always pays their debts? Let's talk about that.
It's definitely not Jamie.
I'm just kidding.
It's none of them. Because none of them have.
I paid my debts with my own daughters, and I think that's pretty big.
There wasn't even a debt. You fucking you put a down payment. That was a down payment. All right. So there we go. So we've just added to the characters like what makes them better or worse, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So here we go.
Who lasted to the end?
I don't think that's as important because
it's not as important. But I'm saying
no. That's what I was gonna say. I didn't argue for Ned Stark because he's only in one season/book.
Yeah.
But
Ned Stark's fucking good.
One of the best characters.
Yeah.
Why though?
Very honorable.
I'm sorry, we can't get into that.
Huge driver of plot. If he doesn't save Jon Snow,
but what makes him a good character? Because I have no emotional attachment to Ned Stark, only because he was only in 4 episodes.
I love Ned Stark.
Yeah, he's honorable.
I mean, he's probably cool, but did they give us enough for us to
King
love
Robert
him?
wouldn't have even been king without him.
I also love it because he's so honorable, but then in the last moment, because he looks at Sansa and he sees her, he decides to say, "No, I lied." Like, Joffrey is the king. He decided to go back on it, and that is the most tragic part because then he gets his head cut off.
I don't always think being honorable is the best way to parent, though, because if it came down to me lying,
well, he's not. Yeah, he decided to be a good parent in that moment, which is really fucking cool.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. I would be like, "You heard me say a lie, but I did that because I was trying to save my life." Like,
he did it for his daughter. Yeah, he didn't care about his life. He would die for.
That's honor. What I'm saying. I would be like, I'm going to look like a shitty person to stay alive for you. You know I'm not a shitty person. Everyone else thinks I am, but that's because I love you.
Yeah.
I would never let myself die.
If he didn't reveal the truth about the Baratheon children, like this whole plot would have never happened.
Yeah.
There would be no war.
God
and him
dang.
getting killed is what...
Why did he think that was his business, though, to reveal?
Because he was hand of the king and trusted by Robert.
And he found out that those aren't Robert's kids.
Best friends, they were hunting partners. Okay.
They fought the entire war against the Mad King together.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see that first war, it just doesn't really exist to me.
Well, like, you might see it. They might do a prequel series. So.
Oh, okay.
But who knows?
Yeah, they talk about it a bit more in the books.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll give you the Encyclopedia of History that Brandon bought for me.
I do not want to look at any game.
Yeah, where's the Game of Thrones Silmarillion?
They have it. Well, Brandon, we have it. It's like a $50 book, right? That's like very visual and very
basically
cool.
I thought he said cinnamon roll.
Yeah, it's a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the Game of Thrones cinnamon roll?
It's baked by Hot Pie.
All right. Anyway,
what about Hot Pie?
No, we're not.
That also would have been Matt's honorable mention. Arya's friend, that little baker kid.
Makes food.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, she's at the end of the he's at the end at the crossroads. Honorable mention, Podrick Payne.
Podrick Payne?
No.
Yeah,
Why?
honorable
He was
mention.
like, Arya, marry me, and she was like, "Ooh, no, honey,
Podrick
we're
Payne?
not
You're
doing
talking
this."
about Gendry.
No, you're thinking of Gendry.
Okay, Podrick. Never mind.
Podrick's the one that the whores at the whorehouse
Yeah, he
don't
doesn't
charge
really
him.
Yeah, they don't charge him.
That's about it. He hangs out with Brienne.
Yeah, he hangs out with Brienne.
That's a good.
No, it's because he has the biggest D.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Is
That's
that it?
That's also
That's actually the canon of the show.
Yeah, that's
way to be
canon.
Sneaky.
All right. Here we go. This is the third false start. Here, well, hopefully it's the true start now.
All right.
How does this
countdown? We're going to do a countdown. 3, 2,
then
1.
say-
And you say the character at the same time. And then inevitably, because we're talking over each other, we then have to say, who did you say?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, is it 3, 2, 1? Say it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
wait, that's
yes.
how. I always.
It's rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
That's
Some
a
people do it that way, but that's
I was
not
gonna
how I
say
do it.
that's what
Don't
you
you
do.
shoot, so you
If
shoot.
you don't, you shoot. You're a cheater,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, we got this.
Because
now.
you were trying to see what they did.
Yeah, for real.
All right.
Cheaters.
3, 2, 1.
Melisandre.
I'm so glad she won.
You were glad Melisandre?
Yeah, well, because like I really just wanted to say something. I was gonna say Melisandre, but then I was like, everybody else is gonna say theirs. But I'm so happy for her. That's great.
All right, Melisandre.
So was it 3 Melisandres?
Melisandre.
So I win. That's the name of the game.
I'm going to go
Easy.
with Jamie now. You didn't win.
No,
Melisandre won.
See, and I was gonna say her a second, but then I was like, I'm gonna stick true. But that's great. That's great.
right,
She
well,
deserved
yeah.
it, but I
It's
don't think she was.
Melisandre.
The
No, I
best
had to go with
character.
her because
I'm glad Sansa came in second.
she's the only one
Thank you.
focused on fighting like the Night King
Yes.
throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
Whereas
I thought
everyone
it
else,
would have been really cool if she and Bran had ever met up.
right?
Because they're both.
Collab of the year.
Well, because Bran is kind of connected to the like.
Well, at one point she sees the Night King and a boy with the head of a wolf, and
Yeah.
thinks they're working together.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting thing. I hope that her character. I think her character was fine on the show. I think she'll be even better in the book.
Yep.
Because typically the book's better. I mean, I do like some characters they expanded. Like for instance, Bronn. We didn't even mention Bronn, but Bronn, I don't love that.
Is he the one who was in the last season always with his legs wide open with a gun?
A gun,
Or a bow and arrow gun?
crossbow.
Yeah.
He did call it a crossbow.
Bow and arrow gun.
A bow and arrow gun.
Can we call
which
him that
is-
from now on?
Yeah, they're all bow and arrow guns.
But that's
I feel like his character was expanded in the show because people liked him.
He was a fan favorite.
But-
I
I
think.
didn't.
Yeah, in the
But-
books, he pretty much he gets his little
Yes.
keep and then just ditches
Yeah,
for the rest of the
yes.
series.
No, that's better.
You hear about him though; it is fucking cool, right? Because he is always who he is. He says at the beginning he kills Lysa Arryn's guy and says like, "Oh, he fought with honor." You know, you didn't fight with honor. Well, he did. That's so badass, right? That is George R. R. Martin. That's like the flip of Sansa's character. It's like this is the character that the show is.
He doesn't actually care about Tyrion or Jaime.
He was drunk.
No.
all
He's
the time.
working with him.
No,
he
just wanted
finally
money.
gets paid out
He
for
wanted
what
to
he
use it.
wanted,
Yeah,
and he leaves.
That dude works his way. He works that Game of Thrones hardcore.
So are y'all changing y'all's mind on who's
No. I just want to say one thing about Bronn though. is that he also is a fucking troll, which is so great because he names his kid with lollies. God dang it, what does he name it? He's trying to troll Cersei.
Tyrion?
He names it Tyrion to troll Cersei.
Yeah.
So fucking sick. God,
Oh
so
yeah,
awesome.
I forgot about that.
He names his son Tyrion so that
Long distance
Cersei...
trolling just seems like a lot of work, though. Because like,
I mean, she'll
who
hear
cares?
about it. And
Yeah,
she'll
she'll hear
off.
about it. Yeah, I guess. If
She
it
had,
was me,
she had a hit on Tyrion at
if
the time.
somebody sent me a bird with a message from like 2 weeks ago, I'd be like, "This is a waste of my time."
That's how you clap back then.
Yeah, I
Clapping
guess
back
so.
was the clap of the bird's wings,
Yeah, for real.
hitting their body. All right, well, thank you, Curry, Erica, for joining us today. It looks like Melisandre is somehow... No, she is. I'm not going to be petty. She is the best. I picked her, too. I don't know. She is the best character in all of Game of Thrones. In the story.
And let's all remember the things we do for love.
Bum, bum, bum,
And let's all
bum,
remember
bum,
you
bum,
can
bum,
go
bum.
through hardships and still come out as the baddest bitch.
This is the Erica corner.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So just don't forget that, you guys. Life
Yeah.
can be hard and tough, and you can have lots of things thrown your way. But as long as you remember that you're a queen and you hold your head up high, you have room to place your crown.
Oh, God.
Okay.
You got, just don't forget, guys, when the voice in your head, God, tells you to kill a little girl, and it doesn't work out in your favor, you're probably still good. You probably should keep trucking on and making more sacrifices and stuff
Wait,
later.
it actually does work. The snow melts, so
Okay, well, shit. Melisandre is just the best character.
it wasn't for nothing.
Yeah.
We did it. We figured out the best character in whatever series we happen to be talking about today. Before we go, I just wanted to thank you for listening and ask if you would rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to it. Tell your friends about it, share it on social media, and please join us on our social media accounts, Instagram and Twitter, at Your Favorite Character Sucks, where you can make comments and suggest what series you think we should do next. Thanks again, guys.